Have you ever noticed something strange? One person makes $55,000 a year and somehow owns their home, sleeps peacefully, and never panics when the car needs repairs. Another person earns $180,000, drives a luxury SUV, lives in a beautiful neighborhood, yet secretly checks their bank account before buying groceries. They both receive paychecks. They both work hard. But only one of them feels financially free. Why? Most people think being broke is about not making enough money. It isn't. In America today, thousands of households earning well into six figures are living paycheck to paycheck. At the same time, millions of middle-income families quietly build wealth without anyone noticing. So clearly, income isn't the deciding factor. Today I'm going to show you the one weekly system that quietly separates these two groups. Not a side hustle. Not buying fewer lattes. Not clipping coupons. Just one financial habit that gets stronger every single week. By the end of this video, you'll understand why some people seem impossible to knock down financially, even when life throws everything at them. And once you understand this system, you'll never look at your paycheck the same way again. I'm Della, and on this channel we simplify investing, personal finance, and wealth building so you can make smarter financial decisions without needing a finance degree. If that's the kind of content you enjoy, subscribe and let's jump in. The biggest lie about money. Let's start with a question. Imagine someone walked up to you and asked, "How much money do you need to stop feeling broke?" Most people immediately think of a salary. "I'd be fine at $80,000. No. I'd need $120,000. Honestly, probably $200,000. But here's something fascinating. Researchers studying happiness and personal finance have repeatedly found that after people receive raises, they enjoy them for a surprisingly short amount of time. Within months, their new income starts feeling normal. The excitement disappears. The financial stress returns. Then they begin chasing the next raise. This cycle has a name: lifestyle inflation. And it's one of the biggest wealth killers in America. Here's how it usually happens. You finally receive that promotion you've been waiting for. Your paycheck grows. You promise yourself you'll save more this time. But then, maybe you upgrade your apartment, trade in your car, add another streaming subscription, start ordering food more often because you've been working hard, buy nicer clothes, book more expensive vacations. None of these decisions seem irresponsible by themselves. They're perfectly reasonable. That's exactly why they're dangerous. Because they slowly become your new normal. Within 6 months, your bigger paycheck already has a job. Every extra dollar gets assigned somewhere else. Which means, despite earning more, your stress level barely changes. Have you ever wondered why some lottery winners actually end up broke again? It's rarely because they didn't receive enough money. It's because money without a system disappears surprisingly fast. Money behaves like water. If your bucket has holes, pouring in more water never fixes the leaks. You simply lose larger amounts faster. Most financial advice focuses on increasing income. Very little teaches you how to stop financial leaks before adding more income. That's what we're going to fix today. Why most budgets fail. Let's be honest. Almost everyone has tried budgeting. Maybe you downloaded an app, made an Excel spreadsheet, used the envelope method, bought a budgeting planner, watched dozens of YouTube videos, started every January with good intentions. And then, life happened. The budget lasted maybe 3 weeks. Sometimes 3 days. Why? Because most budgets are built on restriction. Don't spend. Don't eat out. Don't buy coffee. Don't enjoy yourself. Eventually your brain starts treating your budget like a punishment. Nobody enjoys being punished forever. Eventually you rebel. One online purchase turns into 5. One dinner out becomes an entire weekend. Then guilt kicks in. You abandon the budget completely. Sound familiar? Here's the interesting part. The problem wasn't you. The problem was asking your brain to make hundreds of perfect financial decisions every month. Behavioral economists have studied something called decision fatigue. Every decision costs mental energy. Should I buy this? Should I wait? Can I afford this? Is it worth it? Should I invest instead? By Friday evening, after an entire work week, your brain has already made thousands of decisions. Financial discipline becomes harder simply because you're mentally exhausted. That's why relying on willpower almost never works long term. Successful people don't necessarily have stronger self-control. They often build stronger systems. Systems don't get tired. Systems don't have emotional shopping days. Systems don't celebrate promotions by buying expensive watches. Systems quietly keep working. Week after week, month after month, year after year. That's the difference. Let me introduce you to two fictional Americans. Sarah lives in Columbus, Ohio. She's a registered nurse earning about $72,000 annually. Jason works in tech outside Seattle. He earns around $165,000. Most people assume Jason is automatically wealthier. Let's look closer. Sarah drives a reliable 5-year-old Toyota that's completely paid off. Jason leases a luxury SUV because life is short. Sarah rents an apartment that's about 25% of her take-home pay. Jason bought a home near the maximum mortgage the bank approved. Sarah cooks most weekdays. Jason orders DoorDash several nights every week because he's busy. Sarah receives her paycheck every Friday. The first thing that happens? Money automatically moves somewhere else. Jason receives his paycheck. He checks his account, pays bills, shops, then hopes there's something left at the end. Now imagine both of them receive the exact same surprise. Their air conditioner fails during a hot July weekend. Repair cost? $2,300. Sarah sighs, transfers money, schedules the repair, moves on. Jason reaches for his credit card. Maybe another payment plan. Maybe a personal loan. Same emergency. Completely different outcome. Here's what's fascinating. The repair wasn't the financial disaster. The lack of preparation was. Emergencies don't create financial problems. They reveal them. Life is incredibly predictable. Unexpected expenses are, ironically, expected. Cars break. Roofs leak. Pets get sick. Kids need braces. Medical deductibles appear. Phones fall into swimming pools. Water heaters eventually fail. The surprise isn't that these things happen. The surprise is acting surprised every time they do. Financially successful families don't avoid emergencies. They prepare for them before they arrive. That's a completely different mindset. The weekly rule that changes everything. Now here's where everything starts changing. Forget monthly budgeting for a moment. Forget yearly financial goals. Forget New Year's resolutions. Instead, think in weeks. Why? Because your life already runs weekly. You grocery shop weekly. You fill your gas tank weekly. Many Americans are paid weekly or bi-weekly. Sports seasons are measured weekly. School schedules are weekly. Even your habits are weekly. Your brain naturally understands weeks much better than years. Telling yourself, I need to save $8,000, feels overwhelming. But saying, I only need to move $150 this Friday, feels completely achievable. That's why successful financial systems shrink huge goals into tiny weekly actions. Imagine climbing a mountain. Looking at the summit is intimidating. Looking only at the next 10 steps feels manageable. Money works exactly the same way. Every Friday, or every payday, one small action happens automatically. Not after paying bills. Not after seeing what's left. Not after shopping. Before everything else. This isn't because savings are more important than your bills. It's because systems always protect the future before satisfying the present. Think about payroll taxes. The IRS doesn't wait to see whether you'll voluntarily pay taxes next April. Federal income tax, Social Security, and Medicare withholding often come directly out of your paycheck before you ever see the money. Why? Because automation works better than intention. The same principle can work for your own financial future. You become your own first priority. Before your favorite retailer. Before Amazon. Before restaurants. Before impulse purchases. One automatic weekly transfer. Every week. No negotiations. No emotions. No excuses. Simple. Predictable. Consistent. And here's the surprising part. The actual dollar amount matters much less than most people think. Because the real magic isn't found in the amount. It's found in what that weekly habit is quietly building behind the scenes. And that's exactly where we'll go next. Build your financial firewall before you build wealth. By now, you've probably realized something important. The goal isn't to become rich overnight. The goal is to become financially unbreakable. Because here's what quietly destroys most Americans' finances. It's not one massive disaster. It's a long series of ordinary problems. a $400 tire replacement, a surprise dental bill, a flight home for a family emergency, a broken refrigerator, a higher than expected utility bill during an extreme summer. None of these events are rare. In fact, they're guaranteed to happen eventually. The question isn't if they'll happen. The question is, will they cost you money, or will they cost you years? For millions of households, a single unexpected expense doesn't end when the bill gets paid. It starts a chain reaction. The repair goes on a credit card. Next month's paycheck now has a new payment. Interest gets added. Because the card balance is higher, only the minimum payment gets made. Then another emergency arrives before the first one is finished. Now two balances compete for the same paycheck. Without realizing it, someone who was financially stable 6 months ago is suddenly trapped. Not because they were irresponsible. Because they never built protection between life and death. That's why wealthy families don't think differently about emergencies. They prepare differently. Think like an insurance company. Imagine you're running an insurance company. Every day people pay you premiums. Most days, nothing dramatic happens. Then one day, someone gets into a car accident. You don't panic. You don't borrow money. You don't call your bank asking for a loan. Why? Because you've already collected money long before the accident happened. The claim was expected. Not because you knew when it would happen, but because you knew something eventually would. Now ask yourself something. Why do insurance companies prepare for uncertainty, but individuals usually don't? Most people insure their car, their home, their health, sometimes even their phone. But they never insure their own cash flow. That's exactly what your weekly transfer is doing. You're quietly becoming your own insurance company. Every week, you're paying premiums to your future self. And one day, future you files a claim. The transmission fails. The deductible arrives. The dog needs surgery. Instead of borrowing, your own reserve fund pays the bill. That's an entirely different financial life. The financial firewall. Picture your money like a house. Now imagine that house has no smoke detector, no fire extinguisher, no emergency exit. Would you feel safe living there? Probably not. Yet millions of Americans manage their finances exactly that way. Every dollar that comes in immediately goes back out. Rent, mortgage, utilities, subscriptions, car payment, insurance, groceries, entertainment, dining out, vacation savings, student loans, credit cards. Eventually, there's nothing left protecting the household itself. A financial firewall changes that. Its purpose isn't to make you richer. Its purpose is to stop small financial fires from spreading through your entire life. Think about how wildfires work. A tiny spark by itself isn't always dangerous. What makes it catastrophic is having nothing to stop it. Firefighters intentionally clear strips of land called fire breaks. When flames reach that empty space, they lose fuel. The fire stops. Your emergency fund works exactly the same way. Without one, every unexpected expense keeps burning into next month's paycheck. With one, the problem stops exactly where it started. It never spreads. The emergency ends with the repair, not months of interest payments afterward. Calculate your survival number. Now it's time to replace guessing with math. Most people say, I should probably save more. That's not a goal. That's a wish. Instead, calculate one number. Your monthly survival number. Not your current spending. Not your ideal lifestyle. Just the amount needed if your income suddenly disappeared tomorrow. Grab a sheet of paper. Write down only the expenses that keep your life functioning. Housing, utilities, groceries, health insurance, transportation to work, minimum debt payments, basic phone service, necessary childcare if applicable. That's it. Notice what didn't make the list. Weekend shopping. Streaming platforms you barely watch. Daily coffee runs. Concert tickets. Luxury gym memberships. Impulse Amazon purchases. Those aren't survival expenses. They're lifestyle expenses. There's nothing wrong with enjoying them. But confusing wants with essentials is one of the fastest ways to make your financial goals feel impossible. Let's say your true monthly essentials total $3,200. That's your survival number. Now multiply it by 4. Your first major destination becomes $12,800. Not because something magical happens at that amount, Because you've created enough breathing room to absorb several setbacks without immediately changing your lifestyle or taking on debt. Notice how different this feels. Instead of randomly saving, you're building toward a destination with a specific purpose. Every dollar now has a mission. Why 4 months changes your psychology. Here's something few people talk about. Money changes your behavior long before you spend it. Imagine knowing your employer is laying people off next week. How would you feel with only $200 in your savings account? Probably anxious. You'd accept almost any offer. You'd avoid taking risks. You'd negotiate poorly. Now imagine the exact same situation. Except you already have 4 months of essential expenses sitting safely in a high-yield savings account. Would losing your job still be stressful? Absolutely. But panic disappears. You have time. Time to compare offers. Time to negotiate salary. Time to find work that's actually a good fit. Time is one of the most valuable assets money can buy. Ironically, most people spend their entire careers chasing higher salaries, when what they truly need is more financial breathing room. That's what your weekly habit quietly purchases. Not just dollars. Options. Freedom. Confidence. Those things don't show up on a bank statement, but they completely change the way you make decisions. The hidden cost of living too close to zero. Let's look at two neighbors. Both families earn nearly the same income. Both drive similar cars. Both have children. From the outside, their lives appear identical. Then a severe storm damages both roofs. Insurance covers most of the repair, but each homeowner still owes a $2,500 deductible. Family A already has cash set aside. They pay it. Schedule repairs. Life continues. Family B doesn't. The deductible goes onto a credit card charging over 20% APR. The monthly payment now competes with groceries, gas, and school expenses. A few months later, holiday shopping arrives. The balance grows again. By spring, they're paying interest on interest. The storm lasted one night. The financial consequences lasted years. The roof wasn't the expensive part. Being unprepared was. This is why financial security isn't measured by income. It's measured by recovery speed. How quickly can your finances return to normal after life interrupts them? The answer to that question determines whether you're building wealth or constantly rebuilding from setbacks. Your weekly mission starts here. Starting this week, stop asking yourself, how much money do I have? Instead ask, how much distance exists between today's emergency and tomorrow's debt? Those are completely different questions. One measures your bank balance. The other measures your financial resilience. And resilience, not income, is what creates lasting peace of mind. In the next part, we're going to turn this idea into a complete weekly blueprint. You'll learn exactly where your money should go every payday, why most people save in the wrong order, and how one simple sequence can quietly eliminate the paycheck-to-paycheck cycle without making you feel deprived. Because once the order of your money changes, your financial future starts changing with it. The weekly money blueprint that actually works. Now that you know your target, it's time to give every paycheck a job. Most people save whatever is left at the end of the month. Financially secure people do the opposite. They decide where every dollar goes before they spend it. Here's the weekly blueprint. Step 1. Pay your future first. The moment your paycheck hits your account, automatically move 10% into a high-yield savings account. Don't wait until Friday night. Don't check your spending first. Automation removes emotion from the equation. Step 2. Cover your essentials. Next, pay for the things that keep your life running. Housing. Utilities. Groceries. Transportation. Insurance. Minimum debt payments. Nothing fancy. Just protect your foundation. Step 3. Build wealth after protection. Once your emergency fund reaches your target, don't let that weekly transfer stop. Simply redirect it. Instead of your savings account, send it toward long-term investing. For many Americans, that could mean consistently contributing to tax-advantaged accounts like a 401k, Roth IRA, if eligible, or a diversified low-cost index fund through a brokerage account. Your money now starts working while you sleep. Step 4. Enjoy the rest, without guilt. Here's the part most budgets forget. Whatever remains after saving, essentials, and investing. Spend it. Go out for dinner. Watch a movie. Take a weekend trip. Buy something you've planned for. Because you've already handled the important things first. Enjoying money is part of a healthy financial life. The difference is that now your spending comes from confidence, not from hoping nothing goes wrong. The weekly check-in, 5 minutes. Every weekend, ask yourself just 3 questions. 1. Did my automatic transfer happen? If yes, you've already won the week. 2. Did I overspend anywhere? If so, adjust next week, not next year. 3. Did I avoid unnecessary debt? If yes, you're moving in the right direction. That's it. No complicated spreadsheets. No tracking hundreds of tiny purchases. Just 5 minutes of awareness every week. Here's the truth. Financial success isn't built through one perfect decision. It's built through hundreds of ordinary weeks where you quietly repeat the same simple system. Week after week, those small actions become a safety net, then an investment portfolio, and eventually, financial freedom. In the final part, I'll show you why this system keeps working even when life throws major setbacks your way, and how to avoid the 3 biggest mistakes that cause people to become broke again after making real progress. The difference between looking rich and being rich. Let's finish with one simple truth. Financial freedom isn't about having the newest car, the biggest house, or the highest salary. It's about waking up knowing one unexpected bill won't throw your entire life into chaos. That's real wealth. The people who stay financially secure for decades usually avoid 3 simple mistakes. First, they don't let every raise become a lifestyle upgrade. When your income increases, try increasing your investments and savings first. If every raise immediately turns into a bigger mortgage or higher car payment, your paycheck grows, but your financial freedom doesn't. Second, they refill their emergency fund every time they use it. Think of it like replacing a spare tire after you've used it. It's there for emergencies, but it only protects you if you restore it. Third, they stay consistent. Wealth isn't built by one great financial decision. It's built by hundreds of ordinary weeks where you quietly follow the same system, even when no one notices. Remember, you don't have to predict the stock market. You don't have to become a millionaire overnight. You don't need a 6-figure salary to stop living paycheck to paycheck. You simply need a system that's stronger than life's surprises. Start this week. Automate one transfer. Protect your future before spending on the present. Then repeat it next week. A year from now, you'll be grateful you started. 5 years from now, you'll wonder why you didn't start sooner. Because in the end, it's not the size of your paycheck that determines your financial future. It's what you consistently do with every paycheck that arrives. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Every week, we break down investing, personal finance, and wealth building into simple, practical lessons anyone can understand. Thanks for watching. I'm Della, and I'll see you in the next video.